With Albedo coming back in 2.3, a lot of you guys have been asking, is he still worthwhile? What sort of power level am I gaining if I spend my precious Primo Gems on him? We're answering all of that stuff for you today. As you can see, we've been playing with Albedo for a long time. We're going to run you all the way through what it is that you were gaining with him right now, what you're going to be gaining in the future, what sort of gear you're going to be putting on this guy, and what sort of results you can expect from Constellation 0 all the way up to Constellation 6. There's going to be some nice stuff coming out for Albedo, and he's going to be even stronger than he is now that you see in this video, and I personally can't wait for it. If that's not the answer you already need, you know what to do. Hit this button right here. It's called the thumbs up button, and subscribe for more stuff. Let's get into this for you. Now, full disclosure, I am Constellation 6 on this character, and honestly guys, from the long running time I've had with Albedo, you can put him in everything. Hu Tao, Zhongli, Xingqiu, Mono Geo, put him in with Zhongli, with Eula and Beidou, or Raiden Shogun. Constellation 1 will help out your energy regen a little bit. It doesn't matter all that much. Constellation 2 is the big bad boy here. This is because it's going to turn your Elemental Burst from a strictly attack focused Elemental Burst to a half defense, half attack Elemental Burst, which is very important because to get the big damage from his E, you're focusing on defense, because the vast majority of the damage you're getting from this is this transient blossom damage, which is strictly defense. So if you have access to this Constellation 2, it's going to help you out a lot because you're going to be doing a lot more damage on your Elemental Burst than you're used to. And because of this Constellation 2 in certain builds, you've seen us hit over 130, 140, 150k with the Elemental Burst, because it makes it a dual stacking, both attack and defense at the same time Elemental Burst. The rest of these ones, guys, I don't really think they're all that good. Plunging damage 30%, it's fine, but it's still a damage percent up. So if you already have a bunch of geo damage up, you know, plunging damage up, elemental damage up, all of this different sort of stuff, then this is going to help you out just a tiny bit. And unless your name is Zhao out there, you're not really plunging attack all the time, unless you are like a Dragon Strike god, which I'm like a Dragon Strike mini god. I'm not a true Dragon Strike god though. And honestly, the C6 I think is very overrated. 17% damage increase. It's even worse than the plunging damage one, honestly, because there's so many new characters that come out that have big damage up. 17% damage up, it's still additive to all the other damage up. So you're using the new set, right? Shimonao was Reminiscent, that gives you 50% normal and charge strike damage. And you have, you know, Hu Tao with, you know, 33% free pyro damage, and this pyro damage goblet. You're already at like 130, 140 damage up. Adding another 17% for Constellation 6, Primo Gem value-wise, it's just not that good. And my Albedo is on 4-piece Tenacity, the Millicet set. You will see that when we talk about the sets that are going to make him better when 2.3 drops. So his damage is going to be a little bit lower than expected, but it's still going to be pretty significant for free. And this is really what he specializes in: off the field free damage. The new set's going to work super wonderful with him. He's just kind of walking around between Raiden Shogun and his thing. It procs AoE. He can do a bunch of damage this way, sort of like AFK having fun there. You can see us getting stacks of Blossom, and this is where C2 comes in. Pretty significant. And look at all this damage flying around, even on this floor, right, where we're just kind of AFK hanging out. With the pyro damage reducer, basically, he's still pretty much kind of soloed this floor more or less between him and Raiden Shogun's low damage E, and you can move his E very easily, very fast, very quickly, and it's pretty powerful there. So we are getting some crystals here. It's gonna help you live a little bit longer, get the ×2 geo resonance bonus, move this around, and you know what, let's just time to shine. Let's throw him in, and let's let Eula do a little bit of Eula things here as well. So these guys are walking around having fun, and I'm gonna pop this, and boom, boom, pop, boom, and pretty much the raw damage squad is just gonna take him out right there. I mean, ooh. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, you can do a lot of cool stuff with this elevator. There are a couple inconsistencies with it though, because if you have a big boss like Adaha, a lot of the weekly world bosses, if they come anywhere close to his elevator, which would be the flower you put on the ground, it kind of just disappears from time to time. It just doesn't have that much HP. You're not building it for health. He's just gonna kind of slam it. And he's just, yeah, he didn't even do damage to it that time. He's just too big, and the game just makes it disappear. So it's kind of a hard thing to utilize in a lot of situations, not to mention if the boss is just a big guy, or you're fighting some of the Militarials or some of the Abyss Lectors or Heralds, or any sort of big enemy you're trying to get on the elevator to take it up. It takes too long, and then they get on top of the elevator with you, and if they're on the top of the elevator with you, it doesn't work. And look, it died again because he decided to go and drive by my elevator. Azdaha, please stop. but those are some of the weaknesses you'll see. But I'm not going to judge a character based on the little bit of weaknesses they have with world bosses, because our world bosses aren't all that difficult. I do wish that they would fix some of the inconsistencies with enemies and standing on top of the elevator with you and preventing you from going up on top of the elevator, as well as how fast it takes you up. Sometimes it takes you up immediately like before, or like that it takes you up very, very, very slowly. Now when it comes to 2.3 and what you can expect for Albedo to get better, if you're ready for him, you've been working on him, maybe you thought about some of the constellations still with us in the video here, you're gonna have two options: a Harbinger of the Dawn, which was his awesome super free to play weapon, but the 2.3 weapon is going to be awesome. It's going to have a massive amount of defense percent, and the ability, remember getting this at refinement rank 5 for free from the event, the ability is going to make his E do additional damage based off of his defense, which is going to be very, very, very good, all things concerned there. So you're going to have defense, which goes right into your E, and then you're going to have this extra proc based off of your defense as well from the new weapon here, which makes this Constellation 2 even better because you're adding this defense multiplier to your elemental burst there. Now the new set, right now, if you want to run them for damage, you have to run 2-piece Archaic Petra and 2-piece Noblish Oblige. It's going to give you 20% elemental burst damage and 15% geo damage. The new set, it's going to give you up to, I think it's 54% defense and 24% geo damage. You do need to get stacks on it though, but luckily for Albedo, it is very easy to get stacks with this new set. The new set, you get stacks from one of two ways: doing geo damage while on the battlefield, so you can plant your guy, hit with Albedo, that's 2 stacks. The other way you get stacks is by being off the battlefield. If you're off the battlefield, you get a free stack every 3 seconds, which Albedo is pretty much doing all of the time. So it's going to be a wonderful set for Albedo as we creep along with our little favorite Dragon Snake Boy in patch 2.3. So make sure that you farm that up for Albedo. It's going to be a wonderful time. I'm expecting a lot of big E's, 35, 40k total damage if you have the right stats for Albedo. Now, team concepts that you see: Albedo, Zhongli, any sort of other Geo character he works very well with. This gives you the 2x Geo resonance. So this would be awesome with Arataki Ito as well. Gonna be quite good with Goro. Goro buffing up his own defense, as well as Albedo's defense, giving Geo damage up, maybe Geo damage, crit damage up. If you go all in on Goro, that's gonna be awesome there. If you're a Noelle fan, like we are on the channel from time to time, very good character to pair with her as well for the Geo resonance. Obviously Zhongli and Albedo, you can sort of fit them into any sort of team concept, whether you can see it right now like Zhongli, Albedo, and then Eula Raiden Shogun, or Zhongli, Albedo, Hu Tao, and Xingqiu. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with the ×2 Geo core in Genshin Impact. So it's one of the most flexible characters, and in addition to that, you can even put him in like a fireworks team due to one of his talent ascensions here, which is homuncular nature here, increasing elemental mastery of nearby party members by 125 when you use your elemental burst. So you pop your elemental burst, it's doing a bunch of damage, even more so in 2.3, and then it's also going to be buffing up your swirls, to be buffing up your overloads, your electrocharge, your vaporizes, your melts, which also is very nice as well. So he kind of just slots anywhere. And then in addition to that, yeah, he also is making crystallization shields to, you know, ward off a tiny bit of damage from time to time.